Hello you plonkers and welcome back today to another video on the Drewzy channel. I've done finals predictions, so let's milk it a little bit more. I've got some clout in the house. I've got the Pear man. I've got the DOS man. Pear man, what's going on, baby?
Good to be back. I don't know why I'm here, but I'm here. It's apparently September's still a thing for having footy, so it's good to be on.
Poor Pear man, your team's not playing in September, so we've literally just got you here to look hot. So thanks for coming and providing some optical value for the viewers at home.
I'm more than appreciative.
And then we got Caden MacDonald, DOS man, demon mode time. Your boys are looking to go back to back, Caden. What's going on?
We are looking to go back to back. We subbed Pear's team out for Drewzy's team, so we can only have 2 of the 4 teams in the finals at once, and unfortunately you guys had to swap. Jesse's team just absolutely struggling this season as well, so it's out of the Dockers and the Ds to get it done for the boys.
I was watching the Freo vs West Coast 2s on the weekend, and I reckon the West Coast 2s had about 90% West Coast first team players. Still only kicked 3 goals for the game and got pumped by about 85 points, which shows you where that club is at.
No.
Pear man,
Yes.
I'm not going to talk about Port Adelaide for this whole video as they are not in the top 8. I want you to give me a 15-second reason as to why Ken Hinkley should be in or out. Go.
Ken Hinkley should be out simply because I'm sick of finishing in the same spot for the last 10 years. The inconsistency is horrible, and it sucks balls that we finised 0-5 after the first 5 rounds and finished outside of the 8.
And that's
2
your
games
time
in percentage. Travis Boak, I love you.
Fair enough. I actually rate Ken Hinkley very highly, but yeah, you are stagnating a bit. But that's enough about teams outside of the top 8 because it's finals time, ladies and gentlemen. September, baby. The sun's coming out. The Dockers are back in the top 8 for the first time since 2015. I don't even think I had a pube then. It's been that long. But here we are. Caleb Sarong, Andy Brayshaw, marching the Dockers boys into September. Statistically, we should beat the Dogs. Like, when we played them a few weeks ago, I said that we played them off the park in my finals predictions, but we were just clearly a class above. Like, they at no point looked like they were going to win that game. We're bringing it back home. The Dogs aren't good at Optus, as Caden knows very well. I just think the Dockers should get it done. I'm not sure how deep we can run into finals, but DOS man, should this just be a W that the Dockers take and bank? Or do you think we're going to bottle it in classic Freo style?
Yeah, well, look, I was a bit surprised looking at this fixture because the last time I checked the live ladder, the Blues were in the 8. I skipped the last 2 minutes of the Blues and the Pies, so I was very confused to find out that the Dogs have somehow snuck in.
That just didn't happen, did it?
No, it didn't. Unbelievable scenes. News to me that the Blues aren't in the 8 and the Dogs have somehow snuck in. Yeah, you blow the Dogs off the park. You did it to them at Marvel a couple of weeks ago. They started blooding the youth after that loss. They started injecting your Sam Darcy's. They've clearly thrown in the towel, and I think if they've waved the white flag, then the Dockers should take care of business. So I'm excited for this game, the Saturday night game. But yeah, the Dockers will get it done comfortably.
You'd hope we'd get it done. With that Carlton-Collingwood game, and even the D's Carlton game, after all of the punishment I've been through from Carlton over the last few years, Mark Murphy, Jack Nunes, Sam Walsh, to see them cop the same treatment as they've given to us when we've been a bottom dweller, to literally finish their season a few games short, kick them out of the finals. It was so worth it.
Well, not only that, Jack Nunes then got delisted, so it's just...
Has he? Has he been delisted?
It's rubbing salt into the wound for the Carlton heroes. You won't have to hear about that for a long, long time now.
That's Nunes to me.
That's great from you, Anthony. That's like if your girlfriend cheated on you with a bloke and you heard he got hit by a car. That's what I've just heard from Jack Newton's retirement. So we're having a good time here. We'll head up to Brisbane land where they are playing the colour of their kit. Brown shit is what I'm going for. And they're coming up against Richmond, who really last year they were a bit underwhelming. I think the Tigers were just cooked from playing so deep into finals for 4 years straight, and they had a bit of an off year last year, but they're coming into finals now in some scintillating form. Tom Lynch, massive pack mark, kicks bags of goals for fun. Noah Cumberland has just come out of nowhere. Cumberland out of nowhere. And they've got plenty of X factors all over the
Leave
park.
that to the
so you've got Richmond who are coming up and who are the September specialists, coming up against Brisbane, who are the opposite of September specialists. They usually lose all their games or win one and then drop out. Anthony, how do you see this game going?
The good thing for Brisbane is that it's actually at the Gabba, so regardless of their form, at least they've got that. But they might be the worst fifth place team I've ever seen. Fifth or sixth, one of the two, to play in finals. So I don't know. I think Richmond carry in a lot of momentum from the season. But as we've seen throughout the history of the bye week before finals, anything can happen with a bit of a refresher. So
why do you say that, Pear? Why do you say they're the worst fifth side?
They're sixth, by the way. They are sixth. Dockers are fifth.
The way they've come into finals with that form, they're lucky that teams around them sort of failed or they misstepped. Like teams that were winning early in the season were losing late, and I think they had their bad run. So I don't know. They just don't have the greatest of form going into the year, but into the final. Sorry, but as I said, the week off. You just never know. You just never know. And it's at the Gabba, and that's one of the worst grounds as well.
True. Well, when you look at the head-to-head earlier, or not too long ago, Brisbane absolutely pumped Richmond in that first half. I was getting ready to turn off the TV, and then Richmond just clawed their way back. So it's going to be, can the Lions hold that, what they had in that first half, and just blow Richmond out of the water? Or maybe you do Richmond wake up a bit earlier and turn it into a scrap. I think if Richmond win it, it'll be a pretty tight game. If Brisbane win it, it could be a blowout. But that's enough about the stinky side of the top 8, because we've got some actual contenders to talk about. Dos, how many teams in the top 8 do you actually think can win the finals? And who are they for you?
3. It is, in order, Geelong, Melbourne, and Sydney for mine.
I exactly agree with that. I'd potentially chuck Collingwood in there. Pear man, have you got anything else to add to that?
No, not really.
Freo.
Ty?
Freo, I don't know. I think if Fremantle on their day can produce something like they did against the D's at the G earlier in the year,
true,
and carry that momentum, if they beat the Dogs, like they'll go in and play the loser of one of those two qualifying finals. I think they might actually get...
It's Geelong or Collingwood.
Yeah, so if they get Collingwood at the G, I think they're almost guaranteed a prelim spot, because I reckon...
I don't know. That's a massive call.
Hey, come at me. There's 100,000 Collingwood supporters going to come at me after this. I don't give a stuff. You know where I am. So, regardless, I think if they win against the Dogs, they'll have momentum. They'll come up against a Collingwood or a Geelong at the G. Although, if Geelong lose that game, they might actually play that down at Construction Park, which could be interesting.
The Alphabet Stadium.
Yeah. Freo are half a chance, but yeah, Doss is right. Those top 3, I think.
It's funny how you said, Collingwood fans come at me, because I've been backing Collingwood all year. When everyone was like, oh, no, Collingwood are shit, they won't make the top 4. I was like, nah, there's no real ceiling on this Collingwood side. I've rode this wave all year. I've loved watching them play. But they shouldn't be winning. Like, they just are, out of nowhere. Out of just some streak of luck, they find a way to get over the line by a kick. And you look at every footballing show ever, you look at the key performance indicators, contested possessions, because obviously then you gain territory from clearances, scores from the defensive half, so how you're moving the ball, marks inside 50, are your deliveries clean? And Collingwood are just like stinking in these stats, but managing to win games still. So I just think, I was talking to you the other day about this, Caden, just reduce the chaos that Collingwood bring, don't turn it into a scrap, chip the ball around, park the bus a little bit, and I reckon Collingwood will just get, I don't know, a bit of a reality check. So I don't hate you Collingwood fans, even though you hate me now after I've backed you all season and I've tipped you to go out in straight sets on me predictions video, and you're all on my back. But so we've said Geelong, Melbourne, and Sydney are the top 3 contenders. I'll chuck Collingwood in there just because they know how to win games of football. Even if they don't get a kick for 3 quarters, they'll pull it back. What is your grand final prediction, Dossman? Who do you think is going to be there in the final dance of the season? Give us your winner, your BOG, etc.
Well, in my predictions and in a couple that I've put out, I've said I'm tipping with my heart, and I think I've just got to, like,
Yeah.
we just won the grand final. We're the minor premiers. We've gone 10-0 this season, had a pretty tough back end of the season and come out of it in a net positive sort of fashion. Finished second, got a home qualifying final. I think if there was ever a year for me to tip with my heart and have some sort of legitimacy with my tip, I think it's this year. So I have tipped the D's to get through. I think we do it the easy way, hopefully. Touch wood. I think we win the qualifier, win the prelim, and we go straight in. I think if we lose the first game, I don't see us making it or getting in. I don't really want to watch us go the hard way and play the extra game. But I'm going to tip the D's against the Cats. I think the Cats have been a great team all year. I think they're better than third and fourth, so I think just by proxy they'll get in and they'll give it a good nudge. But I'm tipping the D's by about 27 points in the grand final.
Love the confidence that you have there. It would just be the most heart-wrenching, heart out of your chest moment playing the Cats on grand final day after the years of trauma that you've experienced from them. They are like Mike Carlton, but on steroids for you, because they have laid down some pipe on the D's over the years. Pear Man, how do you expect the last game of the season to shape up?
Is this September? Because I'm thinking more AFLW grand final, Port Adelaide versus Brisbane.
Mate, Port Adelaide lost to West Coast on the weekend. What are
we'll
you
come back.
talking
It'll be
about?
fine. First game jitters. Shut up. Anyway,
It's not about how you start, it's how you finish.
Geelong Sydney spells a grand final for me. Then again, the D's, they go up to the Gabba and pump Brisbane by 60, and all of a sudden I'm thinking, here we go. Perfect time to turn it up. So I do like a Geelong D's grand final. I think that's probably the most fitting for how the year's gone. I wouldn't mind someone like a Sydney or a Freo or anyone outside the top four sneaking in. The Cats have been the most dominant team this year, so I'm going to tip them by 2 goals, and then I hope, for the love of God, that after they win a grand final, that we never see them in finals again.
You said something the other day, Caden, like, the D's have been so bad for so long, always been getting bullied by Geelong, and you finally climbed to the top and Geelong is still there. It is mental how long they've been up there, right?
I was hoping, by the time we start winning our premierships, it could almost be the reverse, where the Cats are down, they're rebuilding, they're struggling, we get to walk over them. But no, they've just been up ever since I can remember really getting into football. And it's a credit to them. Like, what they've done, the sustained success has been so impressive. It's just a shame their supporters battling a little bit with the intelligence upstairs. Otherwise, I probably love them. Like, just growing up in Geelong, local radio pump them up, the local paper pump them up. Every footy clinic, they come to your school and they send 2 rookie players you've never heard of, and they're just arrogant. And
those rookie players are 30.
You try and get an autograph off Matthew Scarlett at Get In Your Pool, and he just dogs you, and you just get jaded by this footy club. They come down, beat your team by 200 points and sack your coach. It's just it's hard to get over that sort of trauma, but we're going to have to walk through the best Geelong team in the last 10 years for us to go back to back. And I guess I wouldn't want it any other way. If we're going to go back to back, beating the best Geelong team of the last 10 years would be quite some feat considering the season they've had. So, I reckon you could throw a blanket over a few teams. It wouldn't surprise me if we fast forward this in a month and a half and, the most dominant team, which was Geelong, does get it done. But hopefully the D's can be in there when the whips are cracking, and you never know at the MCG.
You just said before they're lacking a bit in the intelligence department upstairs. I think that's the most PG rated way you could have called the Geelong Football Club a bunch of fuckwits possible.
Well, here I am with a Melbourne bucket hat on my head, talking about the D's potentially pinching a back-to-back flag on my YouTube channel. So potentially they look at me and say, "Don't throw rocks in glass houses, little man." But nah, tell them to get stuffed.
I'll tell you what, the other funny thing as well is that you mentioned rebuild in Geelong. It doesn't go together. They've rebuilt their stadium more times than their list. So
yeah, literally.
I don't see how they ever stop getting these old people coming in play for a couple of games. Like, who's old at the moment? I think Ben McAvoy just retired. I'm pretty sure they'll probably recruit him.
I think Josh Kennedy's going to wander down on crutches.
Robbie Gray might go down there playing a forward pocket role.
Maybe clubs are just getting their rebuilds wrong then. Maybe you just rebuild your stadium and you don't have to rebuild your list and you just stay good forever. Anyway, I think the grand final will also be Geelong versus Melbourne. I need to pay some respect to Sydney though, because again, I've been getting some heat from the Sydney fans. They're a great football side, but I don't know. I just feel like Geelong right now, who are going to be my tip for the grand final, are a little bit ahead of Melbourne. Yeah, Sydney versus Melbourne, it's a tough one because Sydney beat Melbourne quite convincingly and they've finished the season pretty strong, the Swans. So it's hard to write them off. I don't want to give them any disrespect, but I just think the last game of the season will be the two best sides in the competition. In my mind, it's Geelong and Melbourne. And for the last few years, Geelong just haven't had that X factor. Like, they've just fallen short a few times. And I've been pretty harsh on them, like saying, like, when are they actually going to win a premiership? If it's not now, it's never. But guys like Tyson Stengel, like straight in, all-Australian, has been the best forward pocketer this year. Sam de Koning down back, which allows Mark Blicavs to play as a ruck rover. Not even in the ruck, like, the role that bloke plays, the size that he is and how much he can run, it just provides such a difference to that Geelong side, which has given them that X factor this year. And I think the D's best is as good as Geelong's best, if not better. But we haven't seen the D's best for a sustained period this year. And I know, Doss, you might be thinking, oh, well, the first 12 rounds of the year, we didn't bloody lose. But I think even you'd say that wasn't, like, your best. That wasn't the Demons absolutely seething and punching through sides. You were sort of just coasting. So, like, I would have liked to see that demon mode form for a sustained period to have confidence to back you in the grand final. But Geelong haven't lost in 3 months. Maybe it'll come soon. And it'll be a massive upset, and we'll see Collingwood versus Sydney in the grand final. But I reckon the Cats will get it done. I'm going to say Jeremy Cameron gets best on ground. Who are you boys going for best on ground? I reckon Jeremy Cameron will kick 6.
If the D's win, Clary's going to add another medal. So he'll have the Brownlow, and then he'll get the Norm.
Pear man, who's going to be your best on ground? Who's going to be the Norm Smith?
Look, full love and respect for defenders. If the D's win on the day, Stephen May will get the job done.
I like that. I like that a lot.
But if the Cats win, I do like Blicavs.
Yeah, that's a good call. Got the All-Australian blazer as well.
Hey, Drews.
What, mate?
We haven't covered one thing. You're obviously supporting Freo and you're playing in the first final series for about 15 odd years. Your thoughts? Are the Dockers a chance, mate? Come on. You got to express your feelings. What are you thinking?
We are very green. Like, our list is still so young. If you took a random dip out of a hat and pulled out a player and looked at their age, it would be below 23, I guarantee you. Like, our spine, Brendan Cox, Hayden Young, Sean Darcy. We're going to get Jai Amos in eventually and probably another forward. Our forward line is still lacking, which is where we're going to get found out in finals, I think. Like, our forward craft just isn't great still. Still needs a bit of a tinker, and I think we've got the personnel coming through to sort that out, but I think our mids are just as good as any midfield mix in the comp. I think our backs are one of the best back lines in the league as well. Honestly, like a top 3 defense. It's just whether we can click going forward, whether our smalls can get involved in the game. I think we are coming into this final series a little bit underdone. Like, Fife's playing through injuries. Lobb, Griff Logue, Matt Taberner will all be a test to play finals on the weekend. So we're going in a little bit hurt. I think we could potentially get to a prelim, but I just don't see us beating a Melbourne or a Sydney in a prelim. Well, we'd face Collingwood if we win next week because Collingwood aren't going to beat Geelong. Time will tell. I don't think Freo will go all the way, but we're in the bloody hat, mate. So, you know, football and sports works in weird ways sometimes. And Freo could win the flag, but I don't see it happening, to be honest. Thanks for asking, though.
Oh, mate, I've got to support one team since Port Adelaide got 16 bloody months off.
I'm going to be doing a sub meetup this weekend as well. So if anyone's watching this and is going to the Dockers game, come see me before the Freo Bulldogs game, Saturday at Optus. We'll see you there. Lads, that'll do it. Thank you for coming on. It's the greatest time of the year. It's football Christmas. September is here. Doss is trying to go back-to-back. I get to see my team play in September for the first time since 2015. Last time we played in the final, I cried after it. I was 14 years old and Hawthorn gave us a bath. It wasn't fun. But yeah, thanks for coming on, lads. Caden, Spotify original podcast, mate. Anything you want to plug before you bounce out?
Drewzy, thanks for having me. Pear, always a pleasure. There's going to be content coming out the wazoo. I cannot wait to get stuck into it. And let's go, you bloody demons.
Pear man, interviewing old Pear players. That must be a dream come true of some sort. Are you enjoying it? Would you like to plug it?
Yeah, Pear's on a pod. Top 30 podcast at the moment in football terms, so we're loving it. And interviewing all the old Port Adelaide players. We had Hamish Hartlett and Stephen Salapeck recently, so going gangbusters with that. And I look forward to having September off because football's overrated. So come the AFL.
There must not be much content you can make on your club when your channel is based around the club that's not playing finals. So,
Well, let me tell you something. There's going to be 1,600 trade target videos coming out, so keep an eye out.
Yes.
Content.
Josh
coming
Dunkley,
through.
I want you.
All right. Random, but whatever. We'll take it. We'll see you in the next video. Take care, you flonkers. Fuck, it's so much better without Jesse.